Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Racy here from Foundation Expo 88 YouTube. I'm just doing a quick snapshot pre-introduction to the various YouTubes we've done with Baile because unlike a studio interview with John Barlow Hudson, there is just a little echo and a little bit of time delay. So when you're looking at the YouTubes, don't worry. That's just the way that they've recorded. These are a true to life recordings. And with that, I'll just say goodbye as we roll into the actual real live Skype interview. Thank you. Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Racy here from Foundation Expo 88 YouTube channel, and I'm here this morning with Baile Oaks over in California, and it's what, about 6 o'clock p.m. your time, Baile, at the moment?
Yeah, Peter, it's about 6, getting dark out there.
Yeah, it's, no doubt it would be a bit cold as well, I would have thought.
A little bit chilly, but it was a wonderful day, real warm, and on the coast here, the ocean moderates things for us.
Well, that's good.
So the sun's out, it's wonderful. I was out in t-shirt weather today.
Excellent. Now what we're here this morning to talk about is this wonderful piece called Gestation. And I must first of all say how appreciative I was to get that DVD, the 90 minutes of the making of, and just people have to just forgive a little bit of band setting up sound in the background there. There's nothing to worry about. The world's not ending.
Actually, what that is coffee grinding. I'm at a coffee shop right now. Hope this works. I hope sound effects will be all right.
It adds to the mix of everything and the way it all works. So that wonderful piece, Gestation, I was really fascinated in that DVD of just the way that you made that, the way that the circles sort of then pivoted around, and I just wondered if you could just give a bit of an insight as to just where that idea popped into your head. It's just amazing.
The inspiration? Well, for years I've been working with wood and creating forms that are lapping over different laminations and kind of creating these very shell-like forms. And that piece came out of an inspiration for the when my wife became pregnant with our first child.
Yep.
And my future son. So I wanted to design a piece that really spoke to the wonder of the gestation process, the birthing of a new being onto this planet. So I thought, I've always been intrigued by circles, and because they have such a representation for infinite work, it's never ending, never beginning, there's no ends and beginnings to circles. And so I wanted to work with rings in some way to develop a piece that would speak to that process. So I just started working with models. I work with very small. Everything I've ever done, I've always built in a very small scale, and then develop it up from there. So maquettes, they call them maquettes, but models. And so I started working with rings, and through the process of working with rings, that's where this piece came from. I wanted to develop something that had that fruitful feel of a seed. Something that's going to be something's developing, something's about to give birth, something's about to come forth into the world, and so. There's a view of that sculpture where you can work around it so that the interior rings where the piece begins forms this wonderful kind of like pregnant look. It's like the form is kind of bulging out there, and then the other larger part of the form is a backdrop to that, how that looks. So if you walk around the piece, you'll find a place where you get the sense of an overall enclosure of this wonderful solus of a ring of the exterior of the sculpture, the full dimension of it. But within that is this unfolding piece that that works actually in a spiral form. If you looked at the sculpture from top down, it would be a spiral form, which is kind of the key design and growth element of so much of nature. And then from the side, it looked like this wonderful form that was developing and ready to give birth. So that's kind of where it came from. And I developed that model, and then started taking pictures of it and sending it out to and developing actually it's a whole series of work I came off of that. But the piece that was done for the Expo was the first of a series of work that I did with that.
Yeah, there's actually one piece in that we've now done three YouTubes on this piece. One where we identified that it was missing from its normal location. The second one, when you wrote that very nice piece for us, which I will reread into a YouTube, because when we recorded it, it was on a busy road with trucks going by, and it really didn't do justice to the wonderful words you'd actually penned. And so this is the third YouTube on gestation, and the overall drive now is to actually get it redisplayed, and I'm hoping that the Brisbane City Council take up the codule, so to speak, and have it back up on display, because it's simply a beautiful piece.
Well, it sounds like the city's done a lot of good work as far as like restoring it. The communication I've had back and forth with the city so far has spelled out that it sounds like they've done a very good restoration process for the damage that happened to it, which is basically, it sounded like a fair amount of graffiti on the exterior, but not anything on the interior work.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't. I mean, it was in a relatively good location, 20 odd years ago, but as with everything, a city grows and areas become a little bit dead, and sometimes people's activities in those dead areas is not quite as supervised as what it should be, putting it in a polite way.
Well, yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah,
I can hear that.
but no, the council officer who's in charge of that, I've spoken to her a few times about other pieces, and she has a great love of her job and a great love for sculpture in Brisbane, so it's certainly in safe hands.
Is it going back in the same location as it was before, or is it going to be another location?
I think the Lord Mayor's going to surprise us on that one, I suspect. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, there's a little bit of investment in relation to the cement base, but not a huge amount of investment, I wouldn't have thought. And so to be honest, I don't know. I mean, sometimes Lord Mayors play these cards close to their chest, which is fair enough. So,
they're right.
Yeah, exactly. So what we might do is just conclude this particular YouTube on that note, and we will be back in a second to talk about John Truscott, and it'll give me the opportunity, Baile, just to check the recording to see how it went. I think it went okay. So with that, I'll say good afternoon, and Baile, if you just stay on the line, and we'll just see how things go.